Welcome to Intuitive Seek. My name is Mary Train, and as an intuitive guide, energy healer, and meditation teacher, I aim to bring you a grounded approach to all things energy and intuition. Everything I share is with the hope to help you remember how your unique power of intuition is your own greatest teacher. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to your Intuitive Week, your energy update for the week of November 23rd. How are you? How was last week? I connected with quite a few people who had very literal experiences with one of the themes of last week, which was witnessing your transformation. I also had an experience too. And for me, one of the things that I witnessed about my own transformation is how I reacted to change, to news that I was not expecting or really wanting, even because change is hard. It usually means a lot of work has to be done. And for me right now, so much change. We are moving after 8 years being in the same place and so many other things. And yes, I know that I am not alone in that. It is a time of transformation and transition. This year, big year of letting go, of endings, making way for beginnings. I mean, you can even see it in the numerology, right? If you pay attention to that, or I'll just share a little bit, that if you look at the numerology of the year, which is a 9, if you add up 2025, 9 is the last number in the cycles of numerology. Then it moves in to a 1 year next year. And 9 is the number of endings, of introspection, of clearing the way, of closing the doors, of releasing what no longer serves us, of a cycle finally coming to a close. And new beginnings sound exciting, right? It's like, yes, new things, new. I mean, I feel like that's a basic tenet of marketing and advertising is something new, something we don't have, selling us something that we want. But in our lives, when something new is coming, there is so much that we have to go through, so much that we have to release. There's that kind of famous or popular analogy with a pregnant woman giving birth, that if you didn't know that a baby was coming on the other side, it would seem like she's dying. It would seem like everything that could go wrong is going wrong. But then what happens? Most doulas and midwives and doctors, nurses, they say that when a woman is just about to fully give birth, they know because the woman says, I can't do this anymore. So if you are in one of those spaces of, I can't do this anymore. I mean, this year, many times, this has been one of the worst years of my life with losing my dad, having him die in such an awful way from just horrific cancer and all of the change that comes with that and all of the grief that I'm walking with now. And then so many other things were not good, even though some amazing parts of this year. But I will say the bad does outweigh the good. And I'm saying that in kind of an uplifting voice because that's okay. That's okay. This may be my year right before the new thing, right before the metaphorical birth. And it does feel that way. So just wanted to share a little bit of that if you experienced a lot from last week. I hope that you were able to find time to focus on what was authentic to you. And maybe you were able to release any resistance you had to connecting with your authentic self and shining your authenticity because it's such an overused word. But moving into next year and beyond, that is one of the most important things that we can continue to connect with within ourselves is our unique selves, our authentic, unique, beautiful selves. And this week, the energy feels also very strong. And before I dive into the energy update, I did want to just share thank you to everyone who has already reached out about the 2 spaces that are open for my healing and transformative journey called The Key, which is a 4-month journey that we do together, a one-on-one intuitive and energetic support for 4 months that begins in December. So you can end your year with renewed clarity and open 2026 supported to help you expand into your dreams and your purpose and your authenticity, to help you shed what is in the way. And I wanted to share a testimonial for anyone who is maybe on the fence of working with me or reaching out for support, committing to this 4-month container together. This is from a client, a past client. And she says, I had an incredibly soulful and energetic experience. So gracefully, Mary saw with clarity what was going on in my life, where I had blind spots and trouble understanding. She sees with such discernment, honesty, and love. I knew what she was sharing was true. I felt a level of expansion I really needed, and now feel grounded to take inspired action. Awareness and understanding were the first levels of healing and relief. Then, after her energy work, it significantly relieved my physical pain. Mary is truly gifted in what she does, and I highly recommend her to anyone who is called to do some soul searching and healing. And I wanted to share that because that was the testimonial that kind of stood out to me when I was feeling guided to share one on the podcast today. And yes, I do feel like this client, Trish, that I had worked with, whoever is waiting to be supported, I feel like you may really resonate with what Trish said. So honor your intuition, honor your curiosity, and yeah, go to the show notes. You'll find the link to connect, and I look forward to meeting you. All right, so let's dive into your energy update for the week of November 23rd to the 30th. Everything I share is with the intention to connect with what you and I may need to know or remember. I go into a nice deep meditation with that intention to receive and translate with clarity anything that we may need to know. So, with everything I share, trust what resonates and leave the rest. Use it as a way to develop your intuition. Trust what resonates with you. Okay, so when I first opened up the meditation, we were on the path. It really feels like for countless weeks, I kind of drop in to the same path, but just experiencing something different in the meditation. And so it did feel like the same path as last week, this kind of dirt path, dark, but lit from the moon, more light than last week. And we're walking. We're walking on this dirt path. It does feel more soft, more open, not as hard of a path. And on the path, there's an apple, but it is broken open. And the seeds, some of them are on the path and some of them are still in the apple. And this apple right away felt like such a significant symbol for this week that some seeds have been planted, maybe during the new moon last week, but some seeds are still waiting. And with the apple representing our wisdom and knowledge, being open to wisdom, self-knowledge, the possibilities, the healing and health benefits of the apple, it does feel like this week we may have many options opening up to us. We have more clarity for what we are planting or what has already been planted. Maybe we're even revisiting. But it does feel like some of those open options is from new information that can come to us this week, new knowledge. And then that helps us decide to choose that the knowledge that we are looking for, that we are seeking, is available, and it may actually be available in the fruits of our past work. That knowledge can be harvested to plant these new beginnings. So new. Like that really was coming through. Like NEW, like something new. But as I'm saying that, it could also be new, like KNEW, something that you knew, I knew. What did we know? So that knowledge again. So something new is opening up. Changes are bringing new life. The apple is a big piece. And I did want to share a bit about the spiritual meaning and properties of apples, historically, cross-culturally. And I found this from moonleafmagic.com. This felt like the right one intuitively. Spiritual and magical properties of apples. Apples symbolize love and have been used in divination practices to predict marriage. Apples are associated with health and well-being. Apples also symbolize gratitude, generosity, harvest, abundance. Apples ripen at the time of harvest, and so they serve as a reminder to enjoy the fruits of our labors and be grateful for the bounty of the earth. Apples have become associated with self-knowledge, stemming from their connection with the story of the Garden of Eden in Christianity, although the biblical account does not specifically reference the apple as the fruit of knowledge. Apple invites us to enjoy the fruits of the earth and to be grateful. It helps us promote self-care and physical health. Apple allows us to explore our true selves without judgment. And the other thing that I found, and maybe you knew this already, but I wasn't actually aware of it, but apples and the apple tree are botanical cousins and a member of the Rosacea family, which is the rose family. So apples are part of the rose family. So again, opening up to creation, love, connecting to the heart, the health of the heart, the energetic health of the heart, the new seeds that we've maybe planted in our hearts or our hearts are guiding us to do. So really beautiful symbolism for this week, and trust whatever I shared, trust what resonated with you, where it made you connect to in your own life and what it made you remember. And then the next thing, there were some glimmers of emerald light on the path. And this really felt deeply connected to our hearts. And so when I found afterwards, when I was doing a bit of research on the rose being connected to the apple, that really made sense to me because green represents our hearts and our heart energy and our fourth center. So bringing that awareness to the depth and wisdom and love of your own heart and bringing that love within as well to feel more open, to be generous with it for the world around you, that feels also like such a beautiful connection this week. But it could mean that you need more love too, that you are maybe withholding love from yourself for something you haven't done, or maybe something that you're feeling regretful or guilty around. So forgiveness is, as they say, a path to love. So this week you may need to acknowledge some self-forgiveness to open yourself up to more self-love. And then the next thing that came through in the meditation was looking at our hands, focusing on the left hand, and then a big kind of spotlight of energy around our index finger. And this could mean many things. It is our pointer finger. So that could mean, pointing at what you want, at the direction that you're going, at the seeds that are planting, at the option that you choose. As I'm saying that, I do connect with, was it Babe Ruth, like the old baseball player who would always kind of point before he hit a home run? And maybe that is also part of the message, that creating intention, really feeling into where you're going and why, without worrying about how it's going to get there. That could be a big part of this index finger focus. But on the left hand as well, our left side representing, the divine feminine, the yin, not gender, but the balance of both that we carry, which represents the more allowing, receiving, trusting, fertile void, the darkness, the stillness, the inner authority, our intuition. This is a big point, no pun intended, a big point of the left side. Our left hand is the hand that receives. And maybe that is part of it, like I already touched on, but because it's the left hand of receiving, but I did feel that kind of pointer finger energy too. It is about, for those of us that need to remember this, pointing to, creating the intention, knowing where we want to go, but then releasing our grip on the action of exactly every single step to get there, but allowing us to be guided intuitively, to keep moving, to keep doing what we feel called to do, but not in a harried, kind of forceful way. And in palmistry, I did want to share a bit about the left index finger, the spiritual symbolism there too. And the left index finger is associated with Jupiter, with the planet Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion, opening up, representing leadership, authority, inner authority, intuition as well, and connection to our spiritual path. And because we are in Sagittarius season now, part of the symbolism that can inspire us with Sagittarius is about the adventurer, the philosopher, the spiritual leader, the seeker, the seeker of knowledge. And Jupiter is the planet that represents Sagittarius, the most authentic of all of the astrological signs, in my opinion. It's the energy of being almost completely allergic to not being yourself. And I wanted to find a bit more about the index finger and the spiritual meaning. And I found this from naturesmagic.com. The index finger is associated with the air element, the large intestine, and the deep meridian of the stomach. It is also connected to the heart, responsible for balance, serenity, and intuition. The index finger energy can help us to connect with our instinct and ability to reflect. Since the air element represents the mind, we can harness index finger energy to organize and calm thoughts. The index finger represents leadership, spirituality, and our power. Wearing a ring on the index finger carries profound spiritual connotations, steeped in both historical tradition and modern symbolism. Historically, figures of authority such as kings and high priests adorned their index fingers with rings as a symbol of power and dominance. Today, this practice is believed to not only enhance one's self-esteem and confidence, but also to amplify leadership qualities. The index finger, ruled by Jupiter in traditional astrology, is associated with expansive energy, optimism, and a sense of authority. By wearing a ring on this finger, individuals may feel a surge of empowerment and a heightened sense of their ability to lead and influence others positively. Moreover, the index finger is also deeply connected to spirituality, serving as a channel for higher knowledge and divine guidance. This association adds a mystical dimension to the act of wearing a ring on the index finger, infusing it with a sense of spiritual purpose and alignment with cosmic energies. So a lot of very full, beautiful symbolism from the index finger connection for this week ahead, and really trust what resonated with you and how that can help you maybe offer a bit more clarity on what you're meant to focus on this week. And then the next thing that came through in the meditation was a deep focus, very visceral feeling of opening, of like untying energy within our solar plexus. So just above our navel, between the ribs, our stomach, that whole area. This is our inner sun, our third energy center. And it really felt like we are opening up, that energy is opening up to be received, that we are needing to be seen, but in our light, in our authentic light. And that connects with the symbolism so beautifully of the index finger that I just shared, because the meridians are actually connected to the large intestine and the stomach. So this week, for some of us, how are you feeling called to be seen? Because this feels like there's an opportunity for a redo, a revisit, maybe a new way for you to be seen as your authentic, real self. And maybe this week you will connect with more of what is in the way of that and what maybe has been shed or continues to be shed. That was one of the big transformations from last week that I shared about, that we were witnessing ourselves. So maybe did you witness yourself kind of outgrowing your fear of being seen or as yourself? Outgrown by the size of your love and courage and inspiration and creativity and vitality, your authentic, beautiful light. How can you allow that to be seen more this week? And what is needing to still be released? Or has what was in the way, has that kind of been moved? Or its power been diminished? And all that you are waiting for is yourself. So a lot of beautiful, deep symbolism for this week ahead, for this last week of November, as we move into the last month of this year. This feels like a magical week in the way of transformation. We witnessed our transformation last week, and now we might be witnessing the fruits of that. And then the next thing is the animal that came through in the meditation to help inspire us for this week ahead. And it was the crow. The beautiful, dynamic, magical crow. It made and felt like so much resonance with this week ahead. So as I share about the crow, connect to where it connects in your life, what it reminds you of, and what it really highlights for you. So the crow represents the energy of inner transformation, life's mystery, courage, intelligence, ancestral wisdom, trusting your magic, your skills, your talents, your gifts, authenticity, adaptability, family, problem solving, and deep knowing. There's so much we can be inspired by with the crow. And this short excerpt from Animal Speak, the book by Ted Andrews that I share from often, this excerpt really stood out to me. So, from Animal Speak about the crow. Crows have a great mythology about them. This can reflect not only past life connections to those times and cultures, but it also reflects some of the archetypal forces that it can connect us with. As with many animals, crows also have been known to predict tornadoes, rain, and other changes in weather by the way they fly. Working with crows can help you to see how the winds are going to blow into your life and how to adjust your own life flights. Crows have long been considered magical. Wherever crows are, there is magic. They are symbols of creation and spiritual strength. They remind us to look for opportunities to create and manifest the magic of life. They are messengers calling to us about the creation and magic that is alive within our world every day and available to us. So really, again, lovely symbolism from the crow for this week, but a through line with everything is the power that we have within to create, to expand, to share, to be seen, to manifest, to really pay attention to opportunities and allow them to come. Because the thing that can constrict creation and magic and creativity is thinking that you are the only one involved. So this week really feels like opening up to co-creation and how you can kind of work more in harmony with the world and the unseen and the forces within you, but also around you. And to help us dive even deeper into the energy of this week and into ourselves, here are 4 writing prompts, journal prompts. You can answer them in voice notes even, answer one or none, but they are all for you to offer yourself even more clarity for this week ahead. And the first question, writing prompt to help you dive deeper is, what knowledge are you waiting for that you already hold? And from that knowledge, what seeds are still waiting to be planted? And number 2, how can you recognize your authenticity? Describe 5 things that are unique and authentic to you. And number 3, connect to one intention for what you want to grow and expand in your life. It may be an intention you set last week, but connect to it, just one. And then, how do the changes you're experiencing in your life right now reflect that growth and expansion? And number 4, right now, what opportunities do you have to create and manifest magic in your life? This is what the crow is asking us and inspiring. All right, so yes, what a week, what a year, but what a week. And thank you so much for listening to this episode of Intuitive Seek. And if you have any thoughts or questions, please don't hesitate to send me a message through my website, treenlight.com, or through my Instagram at treenlight. And go to the show notes where all the links are there to explore all of my resources that I have for you and where you can learn more and apply for my 4-month healing journey called The Key. And if you haven't already, hugely appreciate it if you subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And if you feel called to give some support, then please share this episode with a friend that you feel might really love it. Or you could leave a review. That would be incredible as well. And don't forget to check out my Substack, where every Monday I also share a snapshot of these full episodes so you can get kind of a cheat sheet for the week. So thank you again. Be extra kind to yourself and others, and I will talk to you next week.
say something very,